Hello guys, today I have the Begg knives Astio. This is their new model that they did a collaboration with um, JVO Designs. You can see that the design is not like the usual Todd Begg design, but it still retains, the elements of the Todd Begg, such as the pocket clip, the grooves, with the holes inside, which you know is their signature. Um, this is a very well built knife, as with every Beck knives from the California Custom Group, with Mark Begg, and you can see that in this project they really were quite ambitious. Um, there are several things going on here which really sets them apart from other knives at this price range. Um, for one, I've always found that the Beck knives are always very reliable in action. They're very consistent. They always work. They never move. The lock bar always stays the same. Um, and it's a very consistent, smooth, works pretty, well every time. It always flips, you know, doesn't flip the fastest, but it flips very reliably, and it comes out with authority. You feel very satisfied when flipping this knife. I must say that along with this crazy design, I did not expect it to be so ergonomic. It fits very well in the hand with this nice thumb ramp. Of course, the blade is not the most useful blade. I mean, it would be useful to cut boxes with this tip of the recurve, but recurved hand tools aren't always the most useful blades for all-around tasks. Let's start with the frame. Titanium frame with two inlays, and they did this, and I thought this was really interesting because they can put two different inlays, and three actually, and all three sides. So technically, they can have all different inlays in every side. So they can play with a lot of these combinations, and my favorite one of them is the zirconium with the silver strike carbon fiber. The zirconium is very, very nicely textured. The deep blacks are very beautiful. There's even a pivot ring, which I found quite neat, with their cracked ice finish. Their inlays are always done very well. The silver strike inlays are beautiful, and what I love about their knives is like this type of silver strike we can only find on their knives, and um, they always have a coating on it, so it never sticks onto your hand, yet it looks very beautiful, and it never scratches. It's very, very well done. Along with the frame is a hand rub finish frame on the outside. Very nicely done. This must have took them. This probably took them a long time to do. I had their bodega before, and Mark said that it took them over 30 hours just to do the frames, the hand rubs on the frames, which I thought was quite impressive. You can see the lock bar has the grooves as well, which I thought was really cool. Usually the lock bar is usually sterile, but because they did this, I thought it gave a really nice touch with the jeweled liner. Lock bar relief is also jeweled nicely, so it's not boring. And I've noticed this in my bodega as well, but they have an over travel stop with the built into the bolster since a long time ago. So when you release the knife, it always stops right there, which I found that it's very, very it's like very beautiful because you don't see, the regular cutout where the blade locks up. It's like kind of hidden inside, and it's very, very sleek design, and I like that a lot. I think it's, I think more people should do it because it's just very nice, you know. Um, and going on to their pocket clip, the usual signature Begg clip, which on this one works very well. Um, one-handed in and out of the pocket. But I have to make a quick note. The bodega I got before this um, had a pretty stiff clip, so you have to kind of lift this up before sliding the pocket clip in, which, I was told by Mark that it was designed that way, but I personally didn't like it. I prefer this type where it's not as tight, so for this one he did it for me a little bit looser, and it works perfectly fine. Another feature why I like the Begg so much is because it's so well engineered. The action and everything is, very reliable. And if you ever have a problem with the lock bar, you can, change it just by setting it back, and I'm sure they can change this lock because it's all one piece here that's bolted onto the frame. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, it's on their bodega as well, but I've always wanted a Begg knife that was not big. And for me, not big means 3.5-inch blades or under. I don't mind the girth as much because this has a very nice solid feel, although it's not too thick. And coming onto the back, let's have a look at the back spacer. Nicely jeweled. Again, the same ridged finish where they have different finishes on the high parts to the low parts with zero gap again. Yep. Coming to yeah, this is very well done. You can just barely feel it, but it's not bad. Coming to the shape of the flipper tab, I wasn't sure about the flipper tab at first because, it's a bit lower. Like, yes, it engages pretty well. But, on these types of tabs, you normally see jimping, and it's also lean like the other way, so you can like kind of push button it. But this one requires you to kind of go over on top and then light switch it, which works really well. But I was unsure about it at first, but I've been quite impressed with the action after I got it, so it's no complaints there. Yeah, everything is done very nicely. So if you get one, they'll last you forever. This thing is a tank. It's built very well. You can't go wrong. And now onto the showpiece, which is the blade. It has the high parts are hand rub satin, but the top swedge and the bevel and the tip are all mirror polished, which again is beautifully done. One of the things that I had, which I can see how these knives are like no knife is perfect, but one of the flaws that I have to point out is that if you see the sharpening of the knife on both sides, you look at one here and then you look at this side, you can see that the sharpening on this side has let's say a less steep angle, a wider angle. So on both sides it's not the same, and it's not exactly, even though it's a hollow grind, it's not too great of a slice. It was sliced paper just fine, but you can feel that it's not as good as something like on my Raymond. but you know, anyone who buys this knife is not buying it for hard use or for regular use even. You know, you can just like cut packages and you know, like it'll be fine, but it's just like a nitpick that it's not entirely perfect either. And I think this is because, you know, the crew has always done knives, always done bodegas and glimpses, which have like not a it's like a more simple grind than this. This is a very complex grind, a big jump from there to here. So I mean, pretty good first attempt on releasing a new model, which is, you know, I think quite impressive. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to go for one, I say why not? You know, it's a very nice knife overall. You know, when you buy from the Begg knives, you can, like, the quality is there. You know you're getting a quality knife. Oh, the action will be good. You know it's super smooth. It works very well. You don't have to worry about it breaking at all. The lock bar will stay the same, even if it doesn't completely wreck the knife, because you can switch this out. But I don't think I've ever heard about anyone needing to do that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching a little overview of the Begg knives Astio, and thank you for watching. See you next time.